Oh, it's a Columbia.
Okay, thanks everybody, and welcome to our August 26th Finance and Administration Committee hearing. We are going to move slightly out of order to accommodate some things, so we'll move number 7 regarding the DSP up to our first item. And I think Steve McDonald is here. Steve, to speak to this? And Michelle, okay.
So this is a contract amendment. City Council had allocated $503,000 towards Clean and Safe Spokane, $166,000 for alley activation, and $50,000 for a housing study. So we went and looked at the Downtown Spokane Partnerships contract that we have with them that expires on December 31 of 2026, and it provides for the clean team. So this is an amendment to add $253,000 towards the clean team. And then under another section in the contract covered maintenance and things like that. So that's where we fit in the alleyway and then the housing study. And they've already gone out for RFP for the housing study.
Okay. And then can I just ask, how did we decide on splitting the 500? Because I think we're only allocating like 250. Is that correct?
Yes. There's 503,000 for clean and safe, and there was some thought to ideas that we heard from council about utilizing a nonprofit that employs homeless and formerly homeless to do some of this work as well. And we're aware of a couple of firms that do that, or they're nonprofit firms. So that was the idea there, to clean the area that DSP is not going to be addressing through their expanded amount of this.
So there won't be any overlap or?
No, but we are writing into the contract that there be coordination, so that it's code, DSP, and whatever the other group is, they'll all be working together.
Okay. Are there questions, comments?
Councilman Cathcart?
Yep.
So with this team that we're contracting out, what is their training? I know we've heard, like, we don't want to clean up because there's needles and all types of things that we don't know if we're safe to pick up. So I guess I'm concerned about that. And what's their protocol if there's something else really outside of their scope, Steve?
Yes, Council President, what we're talking about today is not that other group, that other 250,000. It's DSP that we have in front of us today. But in the RFP for the other 250,000, there's going to be language. We're not going to award an RFP to folks who are not going to do the work or not prepared or don't have experience. It's for groups that are already doing that, and we're aware of at least 2 groups that do that now and employ homeless people. Yeah.
In the contract that existing contract that we have with DSP, they did an amendment and added $100,000 a year for the clean team. And in that description of the scope, it says there to have the training for the biohazards and all those things that they might encounter in the right of way.
And what will be the communication tool to businesses that this has been expanded? I guess my concern as a council member, we get lots of calls from businesses in this new defined area when they really should be calling somebody else, and it's not all code enforcement. So I think that really is diverting resources where there's money already for that work.
Yeah. I don't know if, Emily, if you're prepared to comment on that, but I understand that there has been outreach and there's business people in that area that they're going to be serving that are much looking forward to getting some additional help in that area. I do think we should make sure that 311 is aware of this as well, so we can have a meeting with them so that they're aware of it too, and we're all communicating on it.
Okay.
Emily?
Thank you. Yes, so there will be communication to the property owners and the business owners in the defined geographic area. We actually already have the postcard, and it's ready to hit print and send to the mail house with the addresses that have already been pulled in those addresses, in those locations.
Since Emily's here, is there any questions for Councilman?
No, Emily, you want to just really describe the area? We're going from Division to the Maple Street.
No, so the area is defined as Walnut, which is basically taking the western border of the Business Improvement District, carrying that south to 3rd. It will include the south side of 3rd Avenue, and then it goes on the eastern side to Bernard.
Okay.
So that leaves the remaining portion east of Bernard for the other part of the contract.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Jessica Stratton, quarterly financial report.
Shay, can you bring it up? Thank you. I was like, there's no mouse. I don't know what I'm. Thank you. Okay, so good afternoon. Thanks for having me back. This is the second quarterly financial report. I prepare 3 for a given year. The next one is planned for October. So the quarterly reports are variance reports. So we take a look at year-to-date budget. We compare it to year-to-date actuals. It is not a projection, although this variance report does inform the budget office's projections. So first, some housekeeping on this page. There's that little note there. I have to say this every time to provide context to the report. The city uses cash accounting throughout the year, meaning revenue and expenses are recorded only when cash is exchanged. The accounting team makes accruals that is linking the transactions to the time in which they happened, only during the year-end process. So that means figures can significantly change during period 13, our year-end period. So this is the fundamental difference between these periodic reports that I do and the year-end reporting that you'll see. Additionally, the city budget's annual figures, which means year-to-date budget amounts, are calculated. This calculation uses last year's spending patterns, so if a department's spending this year is significantly different than last year's, that just makes our job even more difficult to figure out where a fund is going to end the year. So that is the housekeeping. So the quarterly report itself has 4 sections. The first one is general fund, and that's what I talk about the most. So we're going to spend a lot of time on general fund, and then we're going to breeze through the other 3. So section 1 of the report begins with a very important table. Here we see the year-to-date budget variance for general fund revenues and expenses. This table indicates that the general fund revenue is favorable to budget by about 4%, so that's great. And the general fund expenses are unfavorable to budget by 1.8%, so that's less great. We will dive deeper into these variances, but first that table below on this first page, this is where you see general fund revenues and expenses, like what was adopted by you, and then how it was amended by you in 2024. So every report in the footnote will tell you the exact SBOs that contributed to the amendment. And since the last report I did, only 2 SBOs have been approved. That was the election services amendment for the November sales tax ballot measure, and then the mid-year adjustment that you just approved last month. So page 2 begins the deeper dive into the general fund revenues. You can see the general fund departments have received about 48% of the annual budgeted revenues. Again, during the year, the accounting team only records revenue when cash is received, not necessarily when it is earned in the general fund. So that is why you're probably seeing less than maybe you'd expect, because 48% were further through the year than that. That is because revenue schedules can be very different. Even from the shared revenue we get from the state, even their quarterly revenues can be received at the beginning of a quarter, at the end of a quarter. They all have their different schedules. The next biggest influx of cash is going to be in November, when we receive the second half of property taxes. Also, some of these revenues are not even received until year's end. So there's also that. So below that first table, we see non-departmental. Non-departmental department, it's a budgetary department, so that's why it's called that. There's no people in that department. It receives 88% of general fund revenues. So it gets the city's sales tax, property taxes, and utility tax, AKA the big 3. The bottom table shows which revenue categories are trending above last year's actuals, so we can get a feel for what's going on. Here we see significant growth in taxes and operating transfers in. So the next page, we dive into that. Page 3 breaks out general fund revenue in total by category. So this is revenue category. This agrees with the previous page and shows property tax is contributing the most to this favorable variance. Operating transfers in are also significantly favorable because of that $3.1 million transfer you approved at the beginning of the year. The transferred back money to the general fund because ARPA was ultimately paid for the police vehicles that were delivered this year. Okay, so page 4 begins the deep dive in the general fund expenses. So you'll see a few general fund departments that are unfavorable to budget right now. I look at each one of these unfavorable variances, department by department, to figure out what's going on. And I found primarily specific reasons why they currently have an unfavorable variance. By year's end, most of the reasons themselves will correct themselves once the calculated year-to-date budget catches up to the actual annual budget. So it's timing, right? Two areas of known concern are the Community Justice Services, which, due to an oversight with the council's ARPA reallocation SBO, it did not technically receive the funding it was supposed to. The SBO being brought forward today by the CFO addresses this oversight and provides an avenue to pay for the estimated termination pay of the police department personnel that are retiring at the end of this month. So with the approval of this SBO, the general fund should be in a good position by the end of 2024 to contribute additional unappropriated fund balance. Page 6 shows you what's happening with the general fund reserves. With fiscal year 2023 still in the process of being audited, it is estimated that the current unappropriated fund balance is around $12.7 million. Are there any questions about the general fund? Okay. Pages 7 through 16 outline other funds, their revenues and expense variances. The timing of all other funds' ins and outs is variable and very much specific to the fund. Fire, I will call them out, they are analyzed separately and appear to be in an okay spot for year's end. So even though overtime, as you've seen, is over budget, their variance right now, base wages are equally, if not slightly more, under budget. And this is the trade-off we expect to see when recruit academies are canceled. Hopefully that makes sense. Pages 17 through 22 provide CIP project status updates to the 2024 projects. So if you have a question, you can see maybe some status notes there. Pages 23 through 25 are economic indicators for consideration. Page 23 shows unemployment in the area has decreased in the summer months, which is typical for Spokane. This is, we go up in the winter and we go down in the summer. Page 24 shows taxable sales received for the last 5 months have been lower than anticipated, with only a year-to-date growth of about 1.2%. Interestingly enough, though, on page 25, we see the City of Spokane sales tax distribution. We compare it to the valley and to the county, and we have been outperforming them when we compare ourselves to them, which is actually a reversal of last year's trend because they were outperforming us last year. Okay, that was it. Are there any questions about the current report?
Questions from anybody? I have one, just caught my eye, page 7. The opioid fund, I assume those are the dollars that we're getting from the settlement.
Yes.
And I thought earlier this year we had around 2 million in there. We allocated 1 or 1.2, and then I thought I had read that we were only going to receive around 700 or so a year going forward. So the 3.7 is throwing me off. I'm just wondering where that came from.
I had the same thought, and I looked at it, and I believe it was, we established this fund this year, and so I think some of that's moving in prior years'
Okay.
receipts.
Matt, do you have a?
I can touch on it a little bit as well, yeah. Some of the settlements are settling early, so they're paying in advance.
Oh.
So we're getting advance payments on some of them. It's impossible to predict and project out, but that's kind of what we're seeing is happening over the past several months.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the clarifying. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you attribute sort of that switcheroo with Spokane Valley on the data regarding sales tax?
It's hard to say, to be honest. Sales tax, how stuff is actually reported to the Department of Revenue, it's all over the place. A lot of the time, businesses, they change their reporting from monthly to quarterly and back again. Mergers and acquisitions can also cause a long delay sometimes, so it's difficult to know for sure.
Sounds good. I mean, it's not a competition, but it is, but. Yeah.
Well, we have the most opportunity to generate sales tax here in the city, so that's good.
Very good. Okay, if there's nothing else, Shay, do you want to, we'll conclude this. Thank you so much, Jessica. And Shay, if you want to bring up the video, and then the Broadlink folks can come on up once, get that going.
And council member, can I just share, this is what we wanted to just give as an overview of the Broadlink PDA before we dive into some details about the actual activities that we're doing with you as a member city.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good.
Broadlink is something different and unique.
I think this is going to be one of those game changers.
This is about making resilient communities. In Spokane County, there are 22,000 addresses that don't have adequate internet. That needs to be addressed. That's why Broadlink is here.
COVID clearly made us aware that we are not as connected as we should be as a community.
And just as we all drive on roads that were built for everyone to traverse, we're now realizing that our rural communities lack the digital roads to allow folks to traverse the internet.
There's a different way to get connectivity here in rural America. It takes a combination of both fiber and wireless.
So Broadlink has had the opportunity to purchase through these grant funds through the Broadband Office 9 cellular on wheels, or as we very affectionately call them, our own herd of cows.
And that's to provide service to the fire department and emergency services, as well as any of the residential, business or commercial locations that surround the areas where the deployment was done.
Typically, if you build a raw land tower from the ground up, you're 9 to 12 months. We did this in 45 to 60 days. So that's one thing we've shown here is that you don't have to wait. You can get this today.
We're able to make huge differences with our towers. The nice thing about it is it's mobile. As fiber gets there, we just pick it up, move to the next dead spot.
It certainly progressed our ability to determine where emergency's at. Anything that informs decision making helps us to mitigate an emergency.
Households can thrive, businesses can thrive, public safety can thrive, all because of this one component that was missing before that's here now.
Spokane County is being recognized for the work that they have done to make things better for not just Spokane County, for our state, and for our nation.
Yes, I thought, couldn't have been a better day. At the end of the day, Broadlink is not about internet. It's about people. It's about connecting people. It's about relationship. And that's what Broadlink seeks to do and play our part in.
Arian, if you want to come on up, and I just thank you for being here, and you know, I've been really grateful to serve on the Broadlink PDA, but some of the stuff that we deal with is very technical in nature, and it's difficult for me to articulate that, and so grateful to have you here to be able to just give us more specifics and an overview of what we've been doing for the last year or so.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Council Member, Council President. So excited to share with you a recap of the activities that you, as a member city in the Broadlink Public Development Authority, are making a difference on, not only for the city of Spokane, but Spokane County and Eastern Washington as a whole. Before I begin, I want to introduce Andy Whitwer and James Aidlott. They're also Broadlink employees, and really we're the small but mighty team. So a few little slides to highlight some of the depth and breadth that we've been working on to connect the unconnected, not only in our rural areas, but throughout our urban core. We are one of the 5 public development authorities that exist today in Spokane County. We are one of 2 that are county-wide in nature. So we operate under state RCW that allows us to have a membership that is composed of the 13 incorporated towns and cities and unincorporated county, and has its own independent governing board, of which Councilmember Cathcart participates. Our main purpose is to create public benefit broadband capacity expansion through 2 particular venues. One is through fiber optic cable. The other is through wireless technologies where it makes sense. We're both geographically, topographically, and geology challenged sometimes, and fiber may not be the best solution with the dollars that we have to steward. We do this through the concept of open access. And what that means is funds that create public infrastructure need to be available for the public to use so that our solutions are affordable, sustainable, and competitive. And the mechanism that we do that is through a combination of public-private partnerships. And really, it's only with the public and private working together that we really can connect those 22, now it's up to 26,000 addresses throughout our region that need internet. Do you mind? I'm not sure where my clicker is. Oh, great. What we've found coming out of COVID is that broadband is really the new essential utility or service. You need electricity, you need water, you need waste management, but now you need broadband to make sure your household has what it needs to be vibrant and have resiliency for what you need to learn from home, work from home, receive medical care from home, all that really wasn't a need 10, 20 years ago. And how we are doing that is through those outcomes, whether it be to households, whether it's partnering with our health and behavioral health partners, making sure that we play our part in the rural as well as urban economic drivers. We work with our community anchor institutions for trusted locations that people can go and get connectivity or learn how to be digitally literate, as well as really do an infusion of workforce development, because in a few short months, we are going to have an unprecedented amount of funds to build this fiber optic and wireless network, and we want to make sure that the populations that are interested and want to onboard to that industry, many of whom have been overlooked, have the opportunity to be first there, first at the table, and maybe some traditional barriers, whether it be language, justice involved, or other things that exist in our area, aren't an issue, and we make that as an opportunity for their next step. What we're finding is the ability to connect broadband has really several different parts. And the first is that one-time capital investment over our digital deserts. Once you get outside of the urban core, whether you go north or south, you run into areas that are rural and are not connected. And what has happened is the reason they are not connected is that the private firms that exist and we work with every day could not make that pencil out. The return on investment for the amount of people that live along those roads, they just couldn't do it. Hence these one-time dollar amounts to make sure infrastructure is put there. But that's only one part of the problem. We need to make sure that the maintenance and operations is sustainable so that when it's there, we have that affordable, sustainable, and competitive offering to the folks that live in the rural sandwich alongside the city of Spokane. And what we're finding is that this infrastructure expansion has both a short game and a long game. The video that you just saw is part of that short game. Again, there are people that today can't connect. They can't work from home, their kids can't learn from home, they can't have a telehealth session. So things like our cellular on wheel cows go and they create short-term capacity for people to have that point-to-point wireless while we work on the design, the funding, the implementation of long-term construction. That's the long game, that whether that's a fiber solution, whether that is a high-capacity wireless solution, you're served today, but you're also provisioned for tomorrow. We just showed you that innovative service delivery. I'm excited to tell you that not only has that pilot been successful, we are also getting ready to deploy one of the cows up in the North County for the Oregon fire victims. And we are actually being used as a reference site across the state for other cities and counties that need this near-term semi-fixed capacity that are now utilizing what we were able to pilot, which is really exciting to set an example. This is what a cow looks like, all packed up and ready to go. It can be pulled by just a traditional pickup truck, and one of the most, I'd say, surprising adventures that we got to go on is these 9 cows had just come off the assembly line out in Airway Heights when both the Oregon and Gray fires erupted. Within literally less than 24 hours notice, next slide, We were able to deploy 4 of these cows while that gray fire was still burning. Eastern State Hospital in Lakeland Village had 3 redundant fiber paths that were severed. And so there were 300 shelter-in-place patients that could not connect back up to the medical electronic patient care reporting system that was assessed on the west side. This established that connection. One of the cows, the one that you see there on Silver Lake, actually stayed there until November because the entire west side of the lake had been burned. Next slide, please. And as I said, this is a picture of the fire impact area up in the Elk, Washington. All of those represent, and there's probably about 300 of those dots. Those are part of those fundable, unconnected residents right now that don't have internet. And not only do they not have internet, they have no ability to receive reach outs for aid for wraparound services. Many of them don't have the ability, due to lack of cell coverage, to call for 911, or tragically, if another event occurred, they would not receive evacuation notices either. So over the next month, we've been able to provision and deploy not only one of our cows, we're working with the city of Deer Park for another asset to make sure that we can get that connectivity right now. It's urgent. Understand how that works for long-term recovery for Washington and Spokane County, because natural disasters seem to be our thing, and how does connectivity aid both when the incident is occurring and then the people that are recovering after. As a little side note, it's been pretty humbling in our discussions with FEMA. They've never before seen broadband be such an integral part of the fire recovery process, and they are opening up their FEMA reimbursement tables that have not been touched since the 70s to now include broadband because of what occurred throughout Spokane County and what we've been able to document. So again, the people we'll never know that unfortunately will probably have disaster visit them, we hope they will fare in their recovery faster and quicker than we did. Another example that we're working on this would be through the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We're waiting any day to hear word, but again, connecting a group of citizens. This is about 300 households in this area between Wandermere to the south and Deer Park to the north. This comes with what's called a community center requirement. And again, this has, besides a fire station, no community anchor institutions, and this grant comes with a requirement to operate a community center for digital navigation for 2 years. But what happens is if you put the investment in a brick and mortar building, after 2 years you have nothing to run it with, and we really didn't want to do that to our community. So you can't really see it very well on the far corner. I need to find a better picture. We are introducing a new concept to the USDA, and that's called a community center in a box. And basically, it's an extra large shipping container that has a server room in the back, windows, HIPAA-compliant meeting rooms, and a door, flower pot in the front, and we can operate it within the required grant area for the 2 years. But the minute that that's done, it goes where it's needed next. And that might be just over the border into Stevens County, where the community of Clayton is having a methamphetamine crisis. It could be somewhere else inside our urban core. It goes where it's needed to connect people that might need that human touch to go along with whatever they need in their household for broadband connectivity. And we really hope that the USDA sees this as a new part of their solution set. So many of you have probably heard about the funding called BEAD. It came from the federal government, and it stands for Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Programming. It totals $42 billion throughout the United States and territories. Washington State is scheduled to receive about $1.24 billion of that 42. This is a synopsis of how the purple and yellow, which would be the different varying degrees of eligibility throughout Washington State, play out in who needs broadband. Spokane County sticks out like a sore thumb. We need to correct the people that don't have internet. And in fact, our county is 5th highest in the nation among 31,000 counties of people that need internet. So again, it's going to take our urban core, our rural partners to make sure that we really have a solid spoken wheel so that the people in our rural areas can take advantages of the services and anchor institutions that are here inside the city of Spokane and access them in our rural outlying areas. This is what that looks zoomed in. So this is part of South City of Spokane. Think of like the Regal Complex area out in that outer edge of the city limits. The green means that there is full, from a U.S. Federal government standpoint, connectivity available. Now, that's just from an infrastructure side. I know Council President has mentioned that that does not mean that the actual household has internet. And that's why our membership with you as the City of Spokane, there may be infrastructure, but there may not be a disposable income to connect it. There may not be the ability from a devices to actually use it. There may not be digital literacy to understand how this can improve my life. So even though the dot itself is green, Broadlink is coming alongside our member cities to make sure that if it's there, those that live in those households, run businesses, or are part of the anchor institutions can utilize it. Now, the dots that are orange and red, those are the ones that, again, based on the federal government standings, do not have minimum internet available to them. And those are part of the 26,000 over the next 12 to 18 months. Broadlink, in partnership with private firms, other public firms, are seeking to connect. And this is how we're going to do it. Much thanks to Steve McDonald and the IT team. The City of Spokane has done strategic and very wise investments over the last decades to create conduit and fiber optic access throughout your city limits, many of which into the other PDAs. And as we build in new infrastructure from the rural areas, we want to make sure we are doing it very, very carefully so that when it does come next to the city limits, we know exactly where that is so that we don't inadvertently finish our fiber here and your fiber is here. We want to make sure it's seamless. And again, that just promotes the vitality for the city core. It creates redundant connection loops, and it really creates a revenue generating opportunity that you can recoup from the investment you've done in years past. The last thing I want to touch on that I'm very excited about is over the next couple of weeks, we have had the opportunity to partner with a statewide entity called Equity in Education that currently has a $10 million grant from the Broadband Office for Digital Navigation that has seen really the need and the urgency to create a broadband workforce demonstration site here in Spokane. We are partnering with the Spokane Conservation District, where our offices are, to set aside a large classroom space and also have field space that mimics what individuals would find if they start to become a part of the construction and fiber as well as wireless force in building out some of these BEAD dollars that will coming into our area. Right now, the industry of broadband has no apprenticeship or journeyman status. So there's really nothing to leverage. So what we are doing is creating a micro-certification approach. Because what happens is individuals that are looking for a new industry or looking to start over in life, they can acquire 1 to 10 micro-certifications like a CDL, like an OSHA 10, like a tower climbing. And when you do those strategically in the right order, you become a very, very attractive broadband worker. That allows you to start out in the field where prior history has no matter and there are no barriers, but it also gives you on-ramps both laterally and vertically to your next steps. So when you're done working out in the field and you're ready for some inside work, we're really partnering with other entities so that they can have an opportunity to learn more of the logical things of what does it mean to run a network operations center? Do I want to do design things? Or if somebody's just done with the broadband industry, those certifications are valuable in a whole wealth of other sectors. So we want to make sure that when we train people, it's not training them for a cliff when all of this opportunity goes away, but it's training them so that wherever they go, they're ready for their next step. The one thing that's really exciting about this demonstration site is we will be standing it up in Spokane, but there are 2 other sites on the west side that are going to be waiting for our configuration packet, that there will then be 2 others modeled after Spokane that will hopefully invest that $1.2 billion well and connect the rest of Washington. So that's a lot of information, but I wanted to thank you to just give you a synopsis. I know you have a wonderful resource here with Councilmember Cathcart as our board member, and we'll keep you posted.
Are there any questions from anybody for Ariane? Nothing? Well, I want to thank you and just make sure folks understand that, you know, this process over the last year and a half has been pretty very interesting, but just the innovation that you have, been able to implement, and the creativity and the collaboration, and not just regionally, but across the state, and even to a certain extent nationally, I think has been just a game changer for us. And so I've just really appreciated you're on top of it at all times. And so that's great. And hopefully we're going to be able to work together. I know we've obviously had a number of conversations with Steve and others, but I think that there's some really good opportunities for us. So really looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we are going to move on to S3R3 update from Chris Pengra.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to come present to you today. I have to say, Ariane's a tough act to follow. She fit a lot of data in there in a short period of time. But I think hopefully, I've worked with Ariane and many of the other PDAs in their leadership, and I think it's a model that works phenomenally well, and it's something that's unique to me. I serve as the executive director for this PDA, and I'm about a week out from my one-year anniversary with the organization. And one of the things that was compelling for me to move from one state to Washington was this model. And with that, we'll kind of jump into this. I have several objectives for the presentation today. One, I believe it's been some time since you've received a presentation from our PDA, and so for that reason, I want to kind of reintroduce you to the PDA and share a little bit about our history and what we do. And I want to share some high-level representations of the value proposition that we're out there conveying to businesses that we're looking to recruit to the area. And then lastly, I want to share some of the high-level activities we've been engaged in for 2024, and what we're looking for in 2025. And with that, next slide. This map may be familiar to you, but this is the PDA boundary. As I was looking at Ariane's PDA, just a massive area that she has, and I can only imagine what it's like to manage all that, because this, to me, is big. We've got 9,250 acres within our boundary. The black line may also be familiar to you. That represents kind of the western boundary of Spokane City, and then everything kind of south and west outside of that black line, that's unincorporated Spokane County. The core of this, most of the land within our PDA is zoned for industrial, though there are pockets for commercial and residential along the periphery. Next slide. So really, the PDA was established in 2017, and the three S's in our name, S3, are representative of the three entities that participated in the interlocal agreement, which is Spokane City, Spokane County, and Spokane International Airport. And then the three R's in R3 represent the three modes of transportation and logistics that we have as assets within the PDA. That's road, runway, and rail. Road is I-90, major transportation corridor. And then obviously the airport. And then lastly, you may be familiar, we have a transload facility for truck to rail, which is also important for certain types of industrial businesses. We exist really for a number of reasons, but essentially we're focused on creating lasting economic impact and resiliency in the region by job creating jobs. And there are a number of ways that we fulfill our mission, which are kind of highlighted there at the bottom. There's more, but that's kind of the core. And I'd say if we kind of break this down into three categories, the first thing that we do is we try to build an environment that makes it easy for businesses to locate in our region. As you may imagine, there are regions all across the United States and internationally that are competing for the dollars for businesses to come to their area. Some use all different tools. Every region has their own tools. But for us, We don't have some of those tools that some states who have large incentives. So we have to be very intentional about building an environment that is conducive to drawing that capital investment so that we can create the jobs. And so there are a few things that you see highlighted here. We are intentional about investing in regional infrastructure that makes it easy for the businesses to locate within our PDA. We participate and at times lead regional planning efforts. Right now, we're working with SRTC, the city for water infrastructure, and the county on regional planning. And then most importantly, we are a regional collaborator. It takes an awful lot of entities and organizations to do what we do. And when the businesses are in front of us and we're talking to them, we all need to be on the same page, speaking the same language. And that means we have to have very close collaboration. And to that, I really just want to pause for a moment and say thank you to the city we do have representation on our board, Council President Wilkerson, and also interim city administrator serve on our board. But city staff, over the last year, I've gotten to know so many in city staff and really appreciate their collaboration and their assistance as we're trying to plan and recruit businesses out here. The second item that we actively work on is that drawing the investment, the business development or business recruitment. And so that falls into several different activities. We focus on marketing and attraction efforts, telling our story. We do focus on corporate recruitment, so outbound business development. We'll go to trade shows and businesses to meet with them individually. And then site location consulting. When a business is interested in our region, we take all of their information and try to find what is the best possible location for them to locate. Sometimes that's within our PDA. Other times it may be outside of our boundaries. And that's where it's helpful to have relationships with the Northeast PDA and the University District, because all businesses don't fit necessarily directly in our PDA, so it's nice to have options there and keep them in the region. And then we serve also as an information clearinghouse. Every business is unique. They have unique needs. We maintain information on all sorts of things, whether it be workforce, population age, median household income, talent pipeline, all sorts of information to be able to speak to exactly what the needs are of individual businesses. And then the third category that we're really invested in is making sure that we're caring for those businesses after they locate here. We call that business retention and expansion, and it is much harder and much more expensive to get a business to come locate in your region than it is to make sure that you're taking care of them and keeping them in your region in the first place. And so we engage in activities to meet with those businesses, understand their needs, and to be an advocate for them. Next slide. So at a high level, you can see some of these things listed on the left here, which make up the core of our value proposition as we're out talking to businesses. The regional transportation assets are so critical for industrial businesses, because if you're manufacturing goods or even if you're warehouse distribution, your ability to move goods freely and quickly between regions is critical. And we really don't have any transportation needs that aren't being met in that regard. It is a strength. And we also have the workforce in the area that is higher concentration than you would normally see in most areas that are focused on that warehouse and distribution. And so it's a pretty compelling story. One metric that I like to point out is we're the largest labor force between Seattle and Minneapolis, and many people are surprised when I say that, along the I-90 corridor. But that's also a very compelling reason. In between Minneapolis and Seattle, the cost for virtually every other site selection criteria is lower in our region than in any other. And so that's another compelling reason to have access in this location. Next slide. And then just to highlight some of the things we've been engaged in, been a busy 12 months, average. There are a couple of events up there that are not on recruitment that I've had to travel for. It's been a busy first year for me. That'll continue next year as well, but we've been very engaged and active in recruitment missions for 2024, and again, that'll continue next year. Regional planning projects, I only put this one up that we have actually led in partnership with WashDOT. We've been focused on the transportation network in and around the West Plains and making sure that we've got participation from other stakeholders, the county, the city, SRTC, WashDOT, and many others. And then we've also, the funds have been dedicated and the projects are well underway through the planning, and hope to have contracts for West Plains Water Booster Station out in the West Plains region that we've been working closely with city staff on. And then sewer capacity improvements near Craig Road, also within our boundary. And we've secured $2 million in total through ARPA funds for for those projects. And then last, I think the success of the West Plains PDA S3R3 are pretty well summed up in what we're looking at here. There was $91 million in permitted construction activity in 2023. 2024, we're at $23.36 million. And if you look at the slowdown of capital investment being made in industrial space, this is pretty compelling for only half the year. So we're doing well. And we do know of a couple of other projects that are in the pipeline right now that will either start in Q4 of this year or perhaps Q1 of next year. And my outlook is positive. I think that we're going to continue to see that type of investment and activity taking place. So in conclusion, I really just want to end with the message again. It takes so many different stakeholders to be successful in economic development, and really appreciate the collaboration and communication I've enjoyed with the city and many others, and look forward to having a great 2025 as we get into our budgeting process for that next year.
Thank you so very much. Do we have questions for Chris?
Comment, Council Member Cathcart. I have to encourage every council member to go on the West Plains S3R3 tour. I did it recently, and you just cannot imagine it just from a map and how much development has taken place out there, kind of out of sight, off the freeway, you don't see it, but just overwhelming of what's the growth and the potential opportunities. And there are some new developments that are in the pipeline, which are actually in the city of Spokane, which will be our tax base, which made me excited. But really put that on your list of tours to take in the near future. Chris is amazing. And thank you. A year, he just came, moved his family here, and he said one of the reasons he came was higher education and quality of life. So thank you, Mr. Pingree.
Thank you.
Well, and we do get revenue from the projects that even
Yes.
aren't in the city of Spokane.
Yes, we
So given that, is there anything that either from a policy perspective or otherwise the city could do just to make things easier for S3R3 or more effective?
So I think in my approach to economic development, I've really been focused on the fundamentals, primarily the infrastructure and a lot of other foundational elements to our value proposition. When I say my approach is incremental, it means if you don't have what you want, then you haven't gone far enough. And the policy perspective is something that has not raised its head yet as an impediment for development. Right. I think Spokane City has done a wonderful job, and frankly, I have to call out Steve and his staff have been incredibly responsive and helpful. Just anecdotally, when I was in economic development in another state, I was working with a business that was out of Seattle. And we had a really quick turnaround time in that city for the city I worked for in Utah for building permits. And they purchased land, and we said, well, when are you going to get started? And they said, oh, we're still a couple years out, but we're ready to file for our building permit. And I said, okay, well, that only takes about, several weeks. And they said, several weeks? In Seattle, it takes us 2 years to get a building permit. And we are definitely here in Spokane have an incredible advantage from Steve and the building department and how responsive they are, that those building permits come very fast. And that's a compelling story.
Excellent. Well, thank you so very much. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Next up, we have an update on Numerica. Michelle, are you coming up as well, or is it just Lars? All right, Lars. Oh, here we go.
Afternoon, Council. Today we have Lars from Numerica Credit Union to give a brief update on the down payment assistance program. So,
Great. Lars, take it away.
Thanks so much. I get some fun presentations. This is about getting families in homes. And so, and this is mainly a report out for several of you. This is probably the first time that you've heard this presentation. For others, this will be an update, but there's some neat things to be able to share. I want to briefly give you an overview of what the basics of the program are. On the next slide. Awesome, thank you. The RFP that the city asked us to do was to serve underserved communities that the hope for home ownership had kind of passed them by, and especially in a post-pandemic world, that dream was even more fleeting than ever before. And sometimes the intention versus what the law allows is not always the case. What we've been able to do is with relationship to really be able to honor the intent of the RFP. And the direction that we were given was had to buy a home in the city of Spokane, good choice, that they had to be making less than 200% of the area median income. Oftentimes, down payment assistance are for those that are extremely income limited, which means that just homeownership really isn't possible. And so for that missing middle, the city worker, the teacher, the nurse's aide, a home is still out of reach. And that they needed to be a first-time home buyer, that they couldn't have owned a home in at least the last 3 years. All of our buyers, it's never been, with one exception, that if they had been involved in domestic violence or family violence, that we could provide an exception to help people get their feet back underneath them. And that this was a down payment up to 20% for a traditional home. But one of the things that we were able to, and again, I really appreciate your team's flexibility. Most down payment programs are very transactional, very clear-cut. We were able to do up to 25% for homes in the community that needed some TLC. They needed an HVAC, they needed a roof, whatever. They were a great position for a flip, but not for someone in the community that needed to have an affordable home that also had equity right from the start. So we were able to ensure that we could serve people with homes that were ready to go or that needed a little bit of love. And for some families that are below 80% of AMI, we were able to layer this with other partner programs to make it possible. One of the very first home that we ever did, they were about 37% of area median income. A family of 8 living in a 2-bedroom apartment for 4 years, that we were able to help them get into a home, that these children are stable and they're building wealth for the future. Phenomenal. So some great things coming together. So that's the brief overview of what the program is. And on the next slide, one of the things that we committed in this was $1.5 million is a lot of money in one regard, but when you look at this housing market and who we're trying to serve, it goes very quickly. And so one of our commitments was, how can we serve the community in ways that build capacity beyond the direct families that we can get into new homes? And so we've been able to, we shifted our curriculum. So if we were meeting people that were barely, that it was just a dream and they needed to get ready, but they were months and even years out, that we could help them. Some people that were almost set, but they needed to dial in some things and don't touch certain things, these are the mechanisms to get to be a homeowner, help them, and those who were ready to go, we've been able to help some people move in very quickly. And this has been possible with over 40 partners that are in the community. And this is, on the next slide here, we'll touch on those 250 people that we've been able to educate. When we look at those that we've been able to move into homes, that original intent of serving the underserved, we legally, with fair housing lending, you cannot make exclusionary housing practices. And through those relationships of trusted partners, we've really been able to serve people that, but for this opportunity, would not have homes. And oftentimes they represent multiple communities. So people that are serving justice involved, that are single parents from underserved communities that are benefiting from this. And then often, even then, renting out a room to someone else that needs a hand up. So it's been really neat to see every single person's story. And we've had 19 families that have closed, 2 that are almost there, and 4 that are in the process of nailing down a home that they can afford. And you can see some of the representation of who we've touched. The next slide, wanted to give you a little bit of a few different updates. So first and foremost, for those that have amazing memory, the numbers on this went up from last time because the market was tougher this year. And so it cost more to get into a home. You had to earn more to be able to afford it without, being at risk of losing the home as soon as you get it. So some of these numbers moved up, but still, we were thinking that a lot of these grants would go to people 120, 150% of AMI. And so we created a phase out. That's not been the case. It's the averages here are people that are under the average median income that are able to afford a home because of this help. Still working hard, but would have fallen short but for this. And still a really meaningful down payment assistance. What we've got here, there's 21 dots representing where people have either bought homes or are closing in the next couple days or weeks. We've got 10 from District 3, and 7 from District 1, where honestly, there's more affordable housing stock in some of these community. And then we've got 4 in District 2, which lovely community with the current boundaries of District 2, not as many affordable housing options, but we've been wonderful or happy to see people in every part of our community and some areas that often don't get some of the same amount of funds invested in. It's been really neat to see people have homes that they are building wealth in the communities that often are underinvested in. And then last slide here. So things that we're doing. We've got 1 award left. We have been incredibly careful with our funds. The contract that we originally had with the city, we've used less than half of our staffing, admin, supply budget to actually do those things. So we've already worked, and thank you, earlier this month you approved a budget change that allowed us to move more than half of our admin and other support costs to serve more families. That's the last family that we can serve really with this, but we're still doing other things of credit building that we've provided with other funds, a secure way for people to build credit. So even if homeownership is not something possible with this program, they could in the future. We've continued to provide education and partnership. We're trying to create a transition, if you're not familiar with the Covenant program, that is going to have some hopefully meaningful impact across our state for homeownership. It's untested, it's new, but we're really trying to help families to be able to access that. And in full candor, I know everybody likes to ask you for money. We're keeping a running list of people that would qualify, that we can't find another option, that but for this program, they could not buy a home, that are ready, that are able, so that if you do find other funds that needs a home that can be spent responsibly and quickly to impact the residents here in alignment with ARPA funds, we will have people that are ready and able to benefit from that. But we're trying to make sure that we're ready to connect them to other resources regardless of that opportunity. So. Any questions?
Well, Lars, I would just add too, I mean, our $1590 do allow for use regarding home ownership. And so, big discussion to have, but I think that might be a discussion that as a council we should be looking at. So questions for Lars? Yeah, go ahead.
Not as much as a question as just thank you so much for your amazing work. This is astounding and really appreciate the kind of detailed analysis. And I think too, to piggyback off the 1590 funding, I think it would be great to present this in front of our third LD legislators too and look at what state mechanisms might be there to help supplant some of this as the ARPA funding is, drying up.
Thank you.
Other questions? Lars, I just thank you so much and agree with Councilmember Dillon. I mean, the work is great and it's wonderful to see just the kind of diversity in how you guys are getting these dollars out. Also appreciate the map kind of showing geographically where they're at. That's definitely helpful to have. And so once, you guys have kind of finished this off, it would probably be great to do a little bit of a deep dive and just understand, what worked, what didn't, and if we were to do something in the future, how we could make that better. So awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to move up number 8, multicultural centers. Michelle, are you doing that one? and then you can get out of here if you'd like to. No, no, no.
Wasn't quite prepared, so I
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so thank you this afternoon. This is just bringing forth to council. You had allocated $1 million of ARPA funds to help and support for multicultural centers. And we did an RF, or a NOFA, a notice of funding, an application. They filled out, we sent out an application, they filled out applications. And anyway, this is to bring forth the 9 awards, awarding out $900,000, so $100,000 per agency. And this is the recommendation of doing it this way is so that we can, once it's all passed, we can just nail out the contracts and we don't have to spend a lot of administrative time coming back with each individual contract.
Okay. Can you list the 9?
Sure. So I've got APIC, Spokane DBA, Asians of Collective Liberation, $100,000. Well, they're all $100,000. So, and then HPBA, DBA, Nuestras Races, Centro Community, Latinos in Spokane, Manzanita House, Martin Luther King Jr. Family Outreach Center, Multi-Ethnic Business Association, DBA Ahana, Salish School of Spokane, Spectrum, and Terrain.
Okay. All right. Any questions from Michelle? Comments? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Sole Source. Chris, if you would just kind of tee this up, and we do have Jeff here if there's questions or if you'd like to just share anything after we.
Okay. Yes, I think most council members are familiar with community-oriented policing services. They've been around since at least 1993, I think. They're a 501c3 that provide a variety of sort of auxiliary supplemental services that help the police department free up police officers for other activities, fingerprinting, pause on patrol. I know Jeff can relay those programs. They've been under contract with the city since 1993, and at various times they have been declared a sole source provider. Their current contract expires in December. It's for $497,000, I think, and change. Yeah. And they'll be looking, obviously, for a new contract and a new number. And starting last year, several council members, no longer on the council, were interested in making sure that they were continued to be a sole source provider, but it was a little premature because the contract wasn't ready to be renewed. The time is now. We're ready for a new contract. I have been in extensive discussions with legal and purchasing and working on the best process that meets the spirit and the letter of our procurement code. So I think in the next week or so, I'm going to be working with administration to see what their appetite is for submitting a request for a sole source and a contract. That is the proper method, really, is to have it come from the administration. And that recommendation has come from legal and procurement. And we have a new chief coming on board who I think ought to have an opportunity to weigh in on that. And then if the administration is supportive, they can make the sole source request and run it through the usual route that will result in a resolution from this council. There is a plan B and a plan C if the administration is not excited, but the council has an appetite nonetheless that we can pursue. But for now, I think I'd like to work with the administration to get something moving forward.
So that would be ideal. Is there any questions for Chris specifically? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I know in the past, cops had done some victim advocacy, and then it got peeled off to some victim advocacy work. You know what I'm talking about. And it got peeled off to the YWCA. Is that still the plan?
Jeff, do you want to come on up?
Thank you all.
Thank you for being here.
And I think you're going to really be excited about A and B if you're going to have to forget C and all that. No, we did have 2 victim advocates By the way, I'm Jeff Johnson. I'm a Spokane guy. I've been doing this for about a year and a half now, so I'm relatively new. We did have 2 victim advocates that were the result of a grant that we had received. We lost that grant as a result of just some paperwork not being taken care of a couple of years ago. In fact, the city stepped in and did give us $250,000 to keep that program going for about a year and a half at the end of 21 and 2022. And so in terms of the why, what we have done, because we don't want to turn people away, is I've met with the Y and Lutheran Family Services. And so we still, rather than have our people do the counseling, if you will, we will handhold and take people to the necessary outlets. So we've had to kind of train our people who used to just answer the phone and go, here. Now they have to sort through it just a little bit and see where it goes. But yeah, so we're still involved, but not to the degree that we were before. So we've gone from 6, I think, full-time employees to 2 full and 2 part-time, and now we contract out a lot of the things that we do.
Jeff, if you'd like to just share any thoughts or anything that you have. Feel
Sure.
free.
I mean, a lot of you folks are relatively new, as I'm relatively new. We started in 1991. There were 2 girls abducted in the West Central area. One was killed, and they found the body. The other one they never did. Residents came together with the city in West Central, and the WSU Cooperative Extension Service, West Community Center, and WSU, they started the first shop. And so it was in 1991. 2002, they opened the first shop in Lewis and Clark High School. And it was the first program of its type in the country where they did it at LC. That moved over to the Skills Center, and we still work with those folks today. We have 9 locations in Spokane, and they match up with the police sectors because they are our biggest customer. Our 2 biggest customers are the police and the city. Having a new mayor and a new police chief, we got some stuff to do to make sure that we're matching up with our 2 biggest customers' needs. 6 of our locations house Department of Corrections officers. All of our locations housed NROs when we had that program before. That is the #1 question we get from people, are the NROs coming back? Well, we've all heard stories of the NROs. Are they going to be the same as before? I don't know. Are they going to be in the cop shops? Don't know. I mean, I haven't heard anything. But that is the #1 question we get from people is the NRO program coming back? Our budget for this year is $565,000, as is our revenue. Being a 501c3, we have to balance out at 0. $468,000 comes from the city. $56,000 comes from the Department of Corrections, and we're on our own for the rest. Next year, we're going to plan to ask the city for $475,000. We're going to have to do some significant growth, but we feel that that's up to us. So the remainder of that will come via grants, private donations, et cetera, et cetera. One other thing that we promise is we don't look for handouts. We believe in mutually beneficial outcomes. We'll be able to show you a minimum of a 5-to-1 return on your investment, if you will. In terms of like number of hours, I mean, even just this year, I have that jotted down somewhere here. What we call knopping, neighbors on patrol, where we're out driving around or our paws on patrol or whatever, where we go out, see something, say something. We're out driving, walking, we write something down, we turn it into the police. We have done 1,614 hours so far this year. So even at minimum wage, that comes out to about $146,000. We have fingerprinted 150 kids. We have a program, the OFID, where we come into the schools and we'll take a picture of your child, we'll measure them, we'll weigh them, we'll give the parents a packet. Heaven forbid if your kid disappears or a senior citizen. I know I wander off from time to time. You have a packet that shows everything you need to know about your child. National Night Out, we kind of run that. We had 49 parties. It was a pretty darn good number. We have 204 volunteers, of which really about 100 of them are active. I mean, we'd like to say all 204 are, but they aren't all active. Most of them are. We've registered 155 bikes. We do latent fingerprinting. If your car gets broken into, we help the police. We fingerprint the vehicles. We've done 470. We've done 461 code enforcement complaints at the shops when people come into our shop. So we do a lot of things that do help the police. I've been very vocal telling the police, I want to be considered your most valuable resource. And it wasn't that way by any means when I started, and it's not there yet, but we were making pretty good progress. So now I have to start all over, and hopefully I can get the same kind of traction with Chief Hill. One other thing we do is we do found property. So when people find something, they bring it to us. 2 of our employees are like among the few who have the ability to go into the property area. So we take all the found property and register it in for the police. So we do a fair amount of stuff. The police use our shops on occasion to interview victims. They use it for writing reports, lunches, that sort of thing. Yeah, so anyway, I think that's all the stats I could dig up in short order.
Well, Jeff, thank you very much for that overview. I think that's great. One thing you didn't mention that I'm excited about is that we are looking to bring on a dedicated grant writer, which will, expand the opportunities, I think, quite a bit.
Absolutely. Oh, and you're on our board. Maggie Yates is on our board. Officer, we'll hope Eric Olson is on our board. So, yes, and we want to do all we can to maintain and stay a part of this team. So appreciate your time.
For Jeff specifically?
So I just have a question. So their renewal contract is up at the end of the year where it was able to be renewed. So that's why we're going out for the RFP, which brought this up, which is great. But have we really redefined the scope of what COPS is going to do? I know it has continued to evolve. All the things that you talked about was not, I don't think, in the original scope of work of COPS. So I guess I'll be interested in what that scope really looks like, what we'll be expecting from COPS or whatever the organization is that gets this going forward. So has that been developed yet?
Well, it has, and honestly, if you want to dig deep, the victim advocacy is really not within our scope of work. We maintain that. We didn't really push on that. I mean, the scope of work is probably, our mission statement. It's a quickie, then I'll step aside. The mission of Spokane Community-Oriented Policing Services is to promote and support a safe community. We provide crime prevention, education, and public safety programs by neighborhood volunteers in partnership with the City of Spokane, City Police Department, Washington State Department of Corrections, and community stakeholders to improve quality of life. So things like Block Watch, we do those. It's preventative. It's what can we do, see something, say something. It's to help. And we have several requests for additional shops. Bottom of Sunset Hill, Garland District is asked, and so we get a lot of calls for additional shops.
I'll be interested in that scope of what your intentional outreach is to communities of color, because from my knowledge, there really isn't a cop shop or any good relationship, healthy-wise, that I have heard speaking of. So I'll look forward to that.
I'll reach out to you specifically. We do, yeah, we have one at the Martin Luther King Center in the library building down there. We have a shop there.
In the old library?
No, in the
new library.
In the precinct, yes, in there. But I'll reach out to you specifically.
Reach out to
we'll
me
have a
because
meeting.
I reach out because that's not open enough what I call community. But okay, let's talk later. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if anybody has further questions for Jeff, feel free. I'm sure he'd love to sit down and chat with you about the program. So.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to audible again because I want to make sure we have time. So we're going to move to public records presentation. And then, Matt, we're going to do yours after this.
Yes. I wasn't sure, so thanks for Yeah, well, it got sent to you in my audit, like, numbering system, so that's part of the reason it looks kind of strange.
Got it.
So, hello, you guys don't see me very often. Probably a good thing in the long run. I'm Tanya Arnold. I'm your compliance tax auditor. I'm currently the auditor for the city, as we're in the process of recruiting for an internal auditor that opened like a week or so ago. And I'm here to give you a brief update of the public records request performance audit. I push up, yes? Or are you going to be a
I'll do it
magician
for you.
for me?
And if you'll just speak into the microphone, just so our viewers online can hear.
Yeah, I'll do my best. So, next slide, please. About a couple months ago, we were assigned, and we, as in the Internal Audit Office and the PMO office, was assigned a performance audit relating to public records requests and the process that is happening here at the city and how we are complying to the RCW and how we're not. Based on the size of this audit, and the fact I'm a one-person human, like, right? Like, I'm a one person, like, right? Like, there's only so much I can do. And so PMO has been assigned to gather up data for me associated with the police department, and my focus is on the city clerk's office. Unicourt also does public record requests. With that said, they have different rules and regulations, and so we are going to look at them a little bit later because I don't want to muddle up the different requirements and the different expectations. I want to stay focused on the departments that are obligated to follow the RCW as the way it's written. Next slide. So these are our established goals. I'm going to spend a lot of time gaining an understanding of our current process as well as the state expectations and how we are meeting those and where we can find opportunities. PMO in particular is going to work really hard on the data side of it. We've got a great team, and that's their skill set, to look at data, analyze it, and find me opportunities to go from there. And then you'll get an audit report, as the city will get an audit report, and I will ideally find areas of improvement, and I'll highlight the things that we're doing well, because any audit that only tells you what you're doing wrong probably isn't a good audit. You should also know what you're doing well. So go ahead. So where we are today, I have spent the last 2 months interviewing so many humans that touch public records requests, primarily within the city clerk's office as well as their support staff in IT. I've talked to internal affairs, and I've talked to other individuals that are department coordinators, so they receive public records and then they disseminate them accordingly. So a lot of what I'm doing in this audit is gaining an understanding of what's happening. Because if I don't become a mini expert in this field, I can't really give you any idea of how we can improve as a city. And then what PMO is working on is they did interviews with the police department public record specialists, as well as like I was saying earlier, we've got a person that is analyzing the data. So we're looking at around 5 years worth of data because trends speak, moments in time don't. So I wanted to give you a brief understanding of what it looks like in the last 2 years. And with the caveat, obviously, this was through July. Which that should show you is we're trending up, specifically with the city clerk's responses. And we're kind of stable at Spokane Police. Our brief look, and I mean brief, we're still digging. We are complying to the RCW in and around 76% of the time across the board. And so I've got to figure out what's going on with that other little bit that we're not hitting. And that's where a performance audit is the most beneficial when we're looking at something like this, because 76% isn't failing, right? It's not great. We want to get up into those 90s, but people are people, and life gets in the way sometimes. And so we've got to figure out how do we find the opportunities with the technology that's available to us, as well as the staffing that we have. At this time, I have no conclusions to give you because I'm in the middle of an audit, and if I give you any recommendations or opportunities that I'm seeing, it can bias where I go, and I can't have that. So, next slide. That's it. So it's pretty quick and dirty in the sense that I don't have a lot to give you just yet because That's kind of how audit works. We're real slow, and then you get this beautiful little package where you can figure out what's best for the city as management and working with administration. Audit gives you opportunities to improve, but I can't force you to make the choice.
Are there any questions? Yeah, please go ahead.
I guess in some of your work, have you seen perhaps some best practices from other agencies or municipalities that have more expedient return on public records?
We are looking at various first-class cities in the state to get an idea of what they are doing. Some of them have public information, so we're starting there first with some of their data, and I've directed PMO that way first to start looking at what's happening there. What we're seeing very uniquely in Spokane is, and you're seeing it across the state, but Spokane, what we're seeing is there's a significant increase in requests, and people like to pepper. So you'll see one person pepper 17 to 20 within like 24 hours. So you're seeing a peppering, and we need to understand what's happening there, but we are looking at other cities, and I'm also using MRSC, which has a lot of tools and opportunities within best practices and what's going on there, but we are evaluating other data sets.
I guess just a quick follow-up on that, and thank you. I mean, and I know that there is abuse of the system, and you do have frequent flyers out there that perhaps, are doing the peppering, but if there's a way, I guess, at the front end to distinct that from a media request, I guess, for example, or does it all just come in and you just take it all and?
So my understanding is that if anyone goes in and picks one of the widgets that you can pick from, which is fire, original city records and police records, and then it'll send you somewhere else for Muni Court and District Court, for court records in particular. You get in, you pick your widget, and then it goes either to the police department or go to the city clerk, and it's just one big new request list, and every single one gets treated with the respect as every other one. So they don't pick and choose when it comes to that. Now, there are things that they know, hey, I can answer this today versus this is going to be something that can't be answered within the 5-day window. So there are letters that they send. But I mean, the reality is every request should be treated with an equitable response, which means no one is more important than the other.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so this is really an issue across the state. At the Association of Washington Cities for the last 2 years, we've danced around legislation of how to address public records requests and really the financial impact that it is having on cities for the ones who can't meet it and then they're sued, or just the sheer volume of meeting the requirements of getting the information out there. So I appreciate it, but it's like we are not alone in this. And there are some frequent flyers that are known across the state. It's become their new source of income. And they just file knowing that cities can't comply, and then they sue, then they get the money, and just another job.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really big topic across the state, and it's a big ask, and so we've got to figure out how we meet the needs of our constituents in a way that's also not crushing the humans that are trying to fulfill that.
This might be a naive question, but is there any AI workaround for the more simple public records requests?
So I have done copious amounts of training specific to ethics and fraud in AI in the last year and a half to get an understanding of how the audit impacts happen. The reality is AI is a tool that we can use, but it's garbage in, garbage out, and so you still need a human vetting what's happening. So while it has opportunities to make some aspects efficient, and we will look at that as an opportunity for the department and the management to consider going forward, recognize that you never can get rid of the human piece of it because it's still a computer in the long run, and trust but verify. I mean, it's my entire existence as a worker bee for 20-some years. Trust but verify. I trust that you're going to be a good human, but I'm still going to verify it.
Just a couple of things. In talking about interviewing the clerks and interviewing folks over in police fire records, Are you also interviewing and talking to, as Councilmember Dillon mentioned, the media, the folks that are prolific requesters of information, and not just from us, but from other jurisdictions that could provide some input as far as the customer service aspect of public records?
Currently, I haven't gone that far. I'm just trying to get an understanding of what we do and where we can work on our own process. And it can be something that could be scoped in maybe after this one is done, but that's a much bigger ask because that's our external. And right now I'm working for our internal client, which is us, right? Like, I do both. I work with external clients as much as I work with internal, but the question right now is what can we do internally to better serve our external? With that said, I am talking to departments and how they receive activities and how that process works and whether or not they find opportunities as a intermediary. So I am looking that way.
And then just for your information, I do have an ordinance that I'll be bringing forward, it'll be on next month's finance, that would essentially for the clerk's records either allow for or require, not sure, for those to be posted for basically publicly, so that if there's duplication of requests, that would eliminate that and create some more efficiencies. And so my understanding is GovQA is capable of doing that. So.
And it's possible, and it's something we'll continue to explore.
Very good. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, if you want to come on up. And after Matt, we will do Jackson.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is an SPO that we're bringing forward in response to the SSP, the first round of the SSP. We got 19 officers plus 1 lieutenant and captain of both of those unions. This is the payout that we have to have for vacation and sick leave payout. It's just an invariable cost of doing business. When somebody leaves, you have to pay out those based on their collective bargaining agreements. We've had found roughly $1.2 million in interest from ARPA. So this is prior to the interest allocation change, and it's a little bit nuanced, but the interest allocation, the way that the investment policy is set up is that interest goes out to a specific amount of funds. The ARPA one is not supposed to be gaining interest and accruing interest in that fund. It's supposed to be pushed back to the general fund, of which it is doing since this change in investment policy. This investment policy was changed in early 2023. Looking back at the minutes of the investment committee meeting as well as the finance committee meetings, it was talked about in February of 2023, and then again in March of 2023, and then again in July of 2023. Chris Jordan, Tanya Wallace were the ones that were facilitating that. There was some comment that I had coming back while I was working for council at that time, what was supposed to happen at that time is there was supposed to be that transfer of funds that of the interest that was accrued thus far. That did not happen, so it would be sitting in unallocated reserves as of right now if that pull were to have been made. That did not get made when we found this out about 3 months ago. It was right when we were starting with the SSP, so we thought, okay, instead of pulling it over to the unallocated reserves and then pulling out of the unallocated reserves, let's just move it straight from ARPA. So that's why this is the first that you're hearing of it on the dais.
I just don't understand how we, don't realize we're accruing $1.2 million in interest until we're at this point. Questions from other council members?
So thank you, Councilman Cathcart. So is this the total amount of interest that has accrued on ARPA, or have there been other transfers prior to this that we were unaware of?
No. So to take a step back, so this is what was accruing in ARPA prior to the interest allocation change. So in early 2023, once the interest allocation changed, that money is now put into the general fund. So it's part of the investment line item that you're going to see. So this is from initial deposit to that early 2023 investment allocation change. the other part of the SSB, if there's no other questions on the investment side, the other part of this SBO, excuse me, is the $550,000 that you have previously approved to go to CJS, the court system, the criminal justice system, from ARPA, part of that mid-year SBO, or I'm sorry, that mid-year ARPA SBO. Just an oversight on our end, we never increased the expenditure side for the court system, so this is just right-sizing that. Jessica had alluded to that a little bit earlier as well.
Okay. Anything else?
All
Thank
right,
you very much.
thank you.
Jackson, you're up. Recommendations from the TACI for funding allocation.
Afternoon, council members, council president. I have for you the recommendations from the Tourism and Cultural Investment Committee. Up here on the board, you'll see there's a few $10,000 grants and a few $5,000 grants. We tried to balance sort of the timing of the events, some winter events, some summer events, and then also some more of the cultural ethnic events in Spokane. Any questions on that?
Well, I have one.
Go for it.
I'm just wondering how did the, how many applicants were there, and then what was the process to kind of determine that this is the group to allocate the funding to?
Sure, yeah. We had about, I think, 40 applications. We went through a pretty robust scoring process with the committee. I reached out to Michelle and Caleb to talk about what their sort of typical scoring criteria are, and so we developed some 7 broad criteria on scoring. And then I had each of the board members fill out a form that scored each of the individual applications, and then we averaged those across the committee, and then kind of had a final beat down on final applications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get the full list of just who'd applied?
Yeah, sure, I can send that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you get time. That'd be great.
So Jackson, of the 40 applicants, did they all meet the basic requirements of the grant?
I would say almost like 95% of them did.
Okay, so there were some that did.
There was there's a big learning curve with some of this stuff because with the name change, the fund had been kind of sitting for a few years from lodging tax. Yeah. So the fund was pretty big, hadn't been done for a while. We kind of tried something new with the online applications. So there's a bit of a snafus with that, some fires that had to be put out, and some people got a little confused in their applications and only submitted partial applications. So we had to go back out and reach out to them and make sure that they completed their application if they didn't mean to partially complete an application.
So with this allocation, what's left in the fund for
Oh, geez.
potential?
In total, there was like over 400,000 in the fund, and this allocation is only for 110. So there's still quite a big chunk in there.
And will there be another round this year or not till next year?
I think the committee's decided not until next year, but to be on a 2-grant cycle in the coming years. So one time in the spring, one time in the fall.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
How many of these are new events? There's a few that I haven't heard of on there.
Yeah, there's quite a few. We had 3, I think, choices that organizations could choose to self-identify as. One was anew, one was established, and one was legacy, and that kind of affected one of the scoring criteria. So if they were new, they got scored a little bit better because we wanted to fund some new activities rather than, just give Hoop Fest $10,000. So yeah, there's quite a few new activities in there. We tried to balance that out in the final recommendations.
Anything else? All right. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
bringing this forward. All right, the last item on here is an ordinance of mine citing city-owned and city-funded support facilities. And Chris, if you would just, I think you can give the unvarnished.
Yeah, I know time is short. Current code, SMC 1205, 062, and 063 regulate when you can put a city facility, whether a water facility or something like that, but also a homeless shelter in a particular area. You have to do a minimum of outreach, and you have to have a good neighbor agreement. Also, it's supposed to go through the equity subcommittee, the choice of siting. This ordinance would actually expand the current code to cover both city-owned facilities, but also city-funded comprehensive support services center. It also defines good neighbor agreement, which is not something that's in the current code. It also is styled as an emergency ordinance to respond to the administration's plan for scattered sites.
Okay, thank you. And also the other item that is included for or required to go through this process are police precincts. And so just by way of example.
Yes, thank you. I was going to bring that up as well. So in this, we don't have a percentage of how much the city's invested. I guess that's the challenging part. Is it just capital, or is it operations, or a little bit of both? So I look forward to more clarity, because as some of the nonprofits said, well, if I take $1 from the city, hypothetically, and I got to go through all these hoops, I don't want that to become a barrier to people partnering with us. Of course, we want accountability and transparency, but how much will we be asking, and what will be the impact to the nonprofit, whether it's for programs or capital investments?
Okay, I appreciate that input, and we'll look at that. Any other thoughts, comments? Yeah.
Yeah, so just to clarify, is it styled as an emergency ordinance, or is it an emergency ordinance?
It's written as an emergency ordinance. And we can chat about that as well. Anything else from anybody?
And just clarity, Councilmember Wright. Mr. Wright, and there is laws that facilities can be cited. So there's some things we have no control over. Assisted living facilities, congregate care facilities, that's all in state law, that cities cannot discriminate or restrict them from being in certain areas, in any areas at all.
From a zoning standpoint.
From a zoning standpoint, yes.
But this would control the city's facilities. At least the current code controls the city's facilities, which you can decide where to put without regard to zoning. That's a kind of a different question. So the code as written governs what happens by the city right now. As written, this particular ordinance would expand the scope quite a bit of the current code.
Now, I think it's possible that it would not be appropriate if the code basically did this for every shelter regardless of the funding, because then I think we would be in violation of the state law around any zoning where hotels are allowed, you must. So I think we'd be in violation there, but because this is city funding, I think we can kind of elevate what that process looks like. And I would just say, I think, part of this is important because this will kind of create that opportunity for the public to have their say, to be heard. I hear from a lot of folks who just don't feel like they are heard or are going to be heard. And so I think that's really, really important to assure people. Obviously, the Good Neighbor Agreement is something I've been a long, big believer in, and I think that's something that would actually get us to a point of, frankly, reducing the controversy around these facilities if it could actually be implemented and upheld. And then the last thing, I think there's an opportunity then for the Equity Subcommittee to also consider like our comp plan that actually says, you're not supposed to concentrate these highly impactful services, shelters in one area. And so this would allow for them to consider that aspect of our comp plan where it says they need to be spread out amongst all the neighborhoods and think that through. So I think this is important that we consider this type of thing, especially as we're evolving into this new model of sheltering, because it's going to put, I believe, the community at more ease because they're going to have that opportunity to have a say. So that's what I want to share. If there's anything else from anybody else?
I guess a quick question on the Good Neighbor Agreement. So we voted on that, so it has not been reviewed or looked at. Are we all willing, or has the community weighed in again on the Good Neighbor Agreement to put it into this ordinance? So I guess I would have some concerns if that doesn't have another look. Sure. Did it go through the Equity Subcommittee? Okay. All those steps, I think that would be critical because the Good Neighbor Agreement was closely voted on. It wasn't like a unanimous agreement on that. So I think we need another look at that as well.
Okay. No, that's good feedback.
One last thing, and I do know a lot of our providers are definitely in support of the Good Neighbor Agreement. So thanks for bringing that up. And I guess the last question would just be, emergency scenarios when we are in an extreme weather event, if there is that ability to to be nimble.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think there should be a baseline for how much we're giving them to require them to do this. And also, I'd like to know more about how much the public participation or outreach process would cost. If we're adding more cost onto the project than what we're donating, it seems kind of moot. And then the other thing would be, what about temporary facilities? Do we need to be a little more nimble for those, for like extreme weather or fire or smoke?
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, well, if there's nothing else for the good of the, oh, I guess we have our board committee initiative updates. I apologize. We'll go through those real quick here. Council Office Operations Work Group. I don't have an update. Is there anything?
We don't have an update. We'll be meeting this week, so.
Yep, I think on Wednesday. ARPA Work Group.
We are working through that ARPA money. Thank God that it's almost gone because it's been a lot of angst. But getting those grants out, there's a couple of ones that we still need some input. The challenge is the timeline that we're facing for this money to be under contract. So that is what we're looking at.
Okay, very good. Equity Subcommittee?
Yeah, Maureen Murphy presented on the climate resiliency chapter of the comprehensive plan and might try to collaborate and give them recommendation in the coming months.
Very good. All right, and then language access, we really haven't had an update, so we'll have to check in with Alex on that. Ledge Committee?
No meeting last month.
Okay, Investment Committee, no meeting that I'm aware of. Sears Board, Councilmember Bingle's not here. Aging Long-Term Care?
So Aging Long-Term Care is finally in their new location, which is the Rock Point Building. And they got a new grant or a pilot grant from the state to help seniors expedite their applications when they apply for services. Because there is a backlog of 6 months for seniors for home and community services, in-home care. So the state gave them, it is the only one in the state, so we're pretty proud that we have that reputation to deliver on that.
Awesome. AWC?
Board retreat in September, so nothing at this time, summer break.
Okay. Fire pension, there's really nothing to update, just standard business there. Police pension, same?
The same.
Lodging tax advisory.
That's the
Councilmember
big,
Zappone.
that's the big one. I just say we just had a great event with Kevin Hart in Spokane on the great comedy weekend. So that was pretty cool. Other than that, we'll be getting ready to look at funding for next year.
Okay, and then obviously TACI, we've had an update on. TPA, Councilmember Zapone's not here. U District.
U District, we'll be voting in our new leadership. At this point, Katie Sheehan looks like will be our new president of the U District. So that's exciting times as we do a shift in leadership there.
Okay, very good. And then I guess that covers the UDDA as well. Visit Spokane, again, Councilmember Zapone's not here. West Plains, S3R3, we had an update today, obviously.
Chris, yep.
So
Exciting
we got that
times.
covered. And then NEPDA, we are forging ahead on our progressive build process. And so I've got 20 hours of time in the next 4 weeks that I'll be spending on this, reviewing and observing and doing all this stuff. So looking forward to that, but there's a lot to it. But at the end, we are going to have hopefully a really nice investment right there on Wellesley and Haven. So.
And a new hire.
And a new hire. Oh, yes, we have our new hire in place as well. Jesse's been working with and training, and so that's great. We have we're growing as a PDA, so that's what we want to be doing. Excellent. All right, well, with that, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, we will adjourn. Thanks, everybody.